Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 1 begins in the distant future. Duke Leto Atreides is the ruler of the planet Caladan, and he has inspired the faith and devotion of his people. Leto's reputation spurns Emperor Shaddam, ruler of the entire known universe, to send Leto and House Atreides to take over rule of the planet Arrakis from Baron Harkonnen. Arrakis is the sole source in the universe of spice, which is not only a psychotropic substance, but the key to interstellar travel. And so the harsh and violent conditions of Arrakis are in fact the grounds of one of the most valuable resources in the entire universe. Leto is suspicious of the Emperor's motives for sending him to Arrakis, but chooses to take the position anyway, hoping to forge an alliance with the planet's natives, the Fremen. And Leto is right to have concern, as the Emperor fears Leto's rising power and popularity, and works with the displaced Baron and the Harkonnens to plot the downfall of House Atreides. Leto's son Paul is in training as his heir and future successor. Paul is mentored by many of Leto's closest allies, including the pilot and swordsman Duncan Idaho, warmaster and weapons expert Gurney Halleck, the Dr. Wellington Yue, and Thufir Hawat, a mentat, which is a human with the cognitive abilities of a computer. Leto's concubine and mother of Paul is Lady Jessica, an acolyte of the Bene Gesserit. The Bene Gesserit are a powerful sisterhood with many superhuman abilities, like acute observation, lie detecting, and the voice, which allows them to control others. Jessica was prophesied to birth a daughter, who would one day birth a son that would become the Kwisatz Haderach, a messianic figure with the ability of clairvoyance that could lead the universe to a better future. Instead, Jessica gave birth to Paul, and so the Bene Gesserit's Reverend Mother tests him to evaluate his worthiness after he begins to have potentially prophetic dreams. When Paul passes the test, the Reverend Mother secretly visits Baron Harkonnen, asking him to spare the lives of Paul and Jessica in his upcoming war against House Atreides. Upon arriving on Arrakis, Duncan Idaho leads a party to make contact with the Fremen. Duncan's mission is a success, as the Fremen have heard from the Bene Gesserit about the prophecy surrounding Paul and Lady Jessica. Leto forms an alliance with the Fremen's leader Stilgar, and the paleontologist Dr. Kynes helps train Leto and Paul in the very dangerous conditions of spice harvesting, including contending with the massive and deadly sandworms. Secretly, Baron Harkonnen kidnaps the wife of Leto's trusted Dr. Yu. In response, Yu betrays House Atreides and lowers the shields of their stronghold to allow the Harkonnens and the Emperor's Sardaukar army to invade. During the assault against the unsuspecting soldiers of House Atreides, most of Leto's loyal men are slaughtered, seemingly including Gurney Halleck. Still wanting revenge against the Baron, Yu secretly gives Leto a poison capsule to use against the villainous Harkonnen. The Baron kills Yu, and as Leto is captured, he releases the toxin, which kills him and the Harkonnen mentat Peter, while critically injuring the Baron. With Arrakis back under his control, the recuperating Baron places his violent and brutal nephew, the Beast Rabban, in charge of the planet and its spice harvesting. Paul and Jessica are captured by the Harkonnens, but while being transported across the desert, Jessica uses the voice to overpower and kill their captors. As Paul and Jessica trek through the desert to find safety, the surrounding spice causes Paul to have intense premonitions of a holy war that is fought across the entire universe. Eventually, Paul and Jessica are found and rescued by Duncan and Kynes. The group hides out in an abandoned research facility, which Kynes explains was intended to be used to bring greenery and life back to Arrakis, before the greed for spice caused the planet to be left as a near uninhabitable desert. Wanting to avoid a massive bloody civil war across the universe, Paul informs Duncan that he plans on marrying one of the Emperor's daughters as a sign of peace and allegiance. The group is then discovered by the Sardaukar army. Duncan sacrifices himself to allow Paul and Jessica to escape, while a mortally wounded Kynes summons a sandworm to kill the villainous soldiers. The mother and son are then allowed into Stilgar's tribe of Fremen, where Paul meets Stilgar's daughter Chani, who he has been having visions of ever since arriving on Arrakis. The Fremen warrior Jamis is angry that Stilgar has allowed outsiders to join their tribe, and challenges Paul to a duel to the death. Paul defeats Jamis, proving himself to the Fremen people, and decides to eventually join them in his quest to honor his father's legacy and bring a true, lasting peace to Arrakis.